It is 2026. Happy New Year. It is January the 3rd, 2026. It is 9 o'clock in the East, and you are doing lines with the Let's Not Do This podcast. You got the big O, Leon Oliver. To my right today, one Scotty Too Hottie. Chris is on assignment, and by assignment, I mean stripping abandoned homes of copper wire. Hey, his 401k is not doing so great last time I saw, so he's going to do something to have a fallback plan. But you can fall back on our bets, and we can see what we can do to make you some money. Scotty, Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Finished the year up about 47 units, so made some money last year. Maybe not in the podcast, but yeah, let's win some more money in 2026. And I thought you were going to say Chris was stripping.
Oh,
Somehow
God,
that's
no.
worse than him stealing copper.
No, the women would actually pay him to put the clothes back on, which actually could be a good plan for him as well if he wants to make a little money. You mentioned Scotty and the units that he was up for the year because he ain't doing it on this show, but apparently he's doing it off the show. You can
Back
follow
to
him
500.
there. You can follow him there on Juice Reel. Click that little QR code right there, and that'll take you to his profile if you want to tail him and see what he's doing over there. Not a paid endorsement. We are not in the business with Juice Wheel, but we'd like to talk a little turkey with them. We'd like to talk a little turkey with you. And if you want to do that, you can send an email to info@letsnotdothispodcast.com. That's info@letsnotdothispodcast.com and help you, help us, help you, help us, help you grow. But yeah, let's get into it. NFL Week 18, Scotty. Can you believe it that we are here, the last week of the regular season? There's going to be all kinds of guys that will be selling copier machines next year, maybe that are playing. Some guys that will be in the UFL, the CFL. Some guys that are going to become preachers because they're done playing football. Lots of guys that you don't know. Lots of guys that could have lived next door to you. You had no idea they will be playing across the National Football League, and we're going to wager our hard-earned money on them. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? Can't even do my a lot of player props because they're not even listed right now. Most of them.
Yeah, it's just an absolute chaos week here. So let's get into it. And before we do that, let's dive into the picks. Let's dive into the standings and see where everyone sits as we go into this last week of the regular season. We'll start off with college football. Of course, the college football playoff, we'll have picks for that with this week coming up for the semifinals. But you're leading the way right now in college, 49, 37, and 1. Old Smoky there, Chris at 42, 43, and 2. And I am at 39 and 47 and 1, bringing up the rear there. In the National Football League, surprise, 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 who's on top in his rightful spot? That would be the king, Big O here, of course, 41, 35, and 2. Chris at 40, 37, and 1. And you are really dropping behind in NFL at 32, 44, and 2. But somehow, some way, and I forgot to update the thing there on the side. Oh, well. Chris, 82, 80, and 3. You are 81, 81, and 3, and I am 80, 82, and 3. I should be in third place there, but I'm lazy and forgot to update that. But I digress. Yeah. No one probably would have noticed if I hadn't called attention to it.
No, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but what are you going to do? All right, well, let's get into it this week. We got some Saturday football starting off, and for that, let's get into our plays of the week.
Get ready to cash in on the action. It's time for our expert betting picks.
Wouldn't necessarily call anything that we're doing over here expert, but let's see what we can do this week. Of course, the NFL, the best late plans of mice and men will come undone. They thought we were going to have a winner-take-all showdown here this afternoon for the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons said, not so fast, my friends. We can have a say in this as well, even though we are eliminated from winning the division. You got Bryce Young and his Carolina Panthers. The Cardiac Kitties there on the road in Tampa taking on the Bucs. 8-8 is Bryce Young's boys. Baker Mayfield, oh boy, talk about the fortunes turning over a few weeks for Tampa Bay. They are 7-9. Tampa Bay laying the 3 points, total at 43.5. 4:30 p.m. this afternoon on ABC and ESPN. You have Chris's picks here locked and loaded, so I'll let you start off with what the copper wire thief has to say here.
He doesn't have this game.
Oh, well. Excuse me.
I do.
I thought he did. You do. Okay, well, I'll let you go.
Yeah. I'm rolling with the Panthers. I I just think they're the better team right now. Bucks are 1-6 against the spread at home this year and have dropped their last 8 total against the spread. So it's been a while since they covered a game. Panthers beat them a few weeks ago at home, but they were 3-point dogs in that one. They won outright. And Carolina's been doing the thing where they play well one week, look terrible the next week. They looked terrible last week, so I think they bounce back here. And I just think they're the better team right now. I can't really trust the Bucks. I don't know what's going on with them. I know they've been banged up, but they've gotten some guys back, and they just still don't look all that great. So I think Carolina's the better team right now. I think they have been most of the year. So give me Carolina getting the 3 points.
Panthers plus 3 points on the road there. I hate to agree with you on this, but I am going the same route. And they have a bit of an insurance policy here. They can still lose this game and win the NFC South, of course, with the Falcons getting a win over a depleted Saints team due to injuries. We'll talk about that game maybe a little bit later on. But I think they're just the better team right now. They're 7th in rushing yards per game at like over 140 yards a game. Tampa Bay is giving up 4.8 a carry there. They're toward the bottom 10 running the ball. Bryce Young, he's got a 102.4 passer rating in his last 4 road games. And we've seen Baker throw 8 interceptions in his last 5 home starts. And also Carolina is 7-0 against the spread after a loss this season. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is 0-8 against the spread after a win. And Carolina's won 4 of the last 5 against the Bucks, including that 24-17 win back in week 16 as well. A beautiful 73 degrees there in Tampa with a 10 to 20% chance of thunderstorms, maybe 10 an hour wind. Could be some heavier rain possible during the game. What does that favor? That favors a team that wants to ground and pound it, and that would be the Cardiac Kitties. So give me Carolina and their run first approach there, plus those 3 points to get the win in Tampa Bay and lift that NFC South crown and what is the NFL's chaotic NASCAR division, the NFC South.
I was listening to VSiN this morning. A lot of they had 2 pros on there, and they were both on the Bucks, so that might not be a good thing. But they haven't really been killing it over there. I think the guy in 6th place they said was like 60-57. So maybe our records don't look so bad. But usually when they're all on the same side, it doesn't win. So makes me feel a little better about the Panthers.
Moving on, later on this evening, you got the San Francisco 49ers wearing their rivalry's uniform, which, by the way, most of these things look absolutely god-awful hideous. The black just works for the 49ers. Looks good, looks classy. I like it. San Francisco 12-4, taking on Seattle. Sam Darnold's boys 13-3. Niners laying 2.5 by the Bay. Total at 47.5, 8 o'clock this evening on ABC and ESPN. Scotty, 2 years in a row, Sam Darnold is playing in Week 18 for a chance to be the number 1 seed in the National Football Conference and doing it with 2 different teams. My, how things are upside down from what someone had told you that about 4 or 5 years ago.
And I still don't think he's that good. I still don't trust him. Part of the reason why, so I do have this on my card, I'm going with the under 47.5. Feels odd taking the under here with the 49ers game because their offense has been so good and their defense so bad the last few weeks. They've soared over the total in the last 3 games. But in this matchup, the last 2 games in this matchup, they've gone to 30 points. So 17-13, and then I forget the other one. But both games, the last 2 have hit exactly 30 points. And I think we're going to get maybe that, not that low scoring, but I wish I would have got the 48 earlier, but I still like the under here. Primetime matchup, division game, late in the season, they tend to go under anyways. There's going to be some wind there in California. And Trent Williams probably not going to play. I know they said he's a game time decision, I think. I haven't looked yet this morning, but I got the vibe that he's not going to play. And I don't trust Sam Darnold. They're 13-3, so he's doing enough to win. But last half of the season, he hasn't looked that good to me. Winner takes the 1 seed. I don't really trust Sam Darnold. And then, like I said, the Trent Williams injury against this Seattle defense, I think, is going to be a big one. So, yeah, give me probably like a grinded out game. Both teams are going to have the clock running a lot. Yeah, give me the under 47.5.
Well, this is going to make you feel better because I had this game and that pick on my card. And then I looked at it and I was like, there's some games later on that I feel a little bit more confident on that I went with. So I actually pulled this one off. But I agree with those sentiments that you said. You mentioned the 30 points exactly. Yeah, I think they played, I think it was week 1. And it was like 17-13 San Francisco. They won that game there in Seattle. So, yeah, two teams that, play tight games against each other, know each other well. I don't think they're going to be taking a lot of risk here. Yeah, and you mentioned the Trent Williams injury. I can see this being tight. I can see this going under, but you got to feel good that I'm not getting in the boat with you on this one. So I pulled out of this
appreciate that. Yeah, and Chris is on San Francisco plus 2.5, which I don't hate either.
Not bad. All right, flipping the script to a Sunday here. We got the Falcons 7-9 taking on the 6-10 Saints. Dirty Birds laying the 3.5, total at 44.5. 1:00 on Fox. Anybody take a stab at this one?
Let's see, Falcons. Yes, Chris has Saints plus 3.5. I guess if the Panthers win, this line will probably move. I would imagine. I don't know. How motivated is Atlanta going to be if the Panthers win today? So this is one just to wait and see what happens. Or if you feel like the Panthers are going to win, maybe go bet the Saints. If you like the Bucks, go bet the Falcons. Yeah.
There's no Chris Olave for New Orleans. Obviously, was like a blood clot issue or something like that. I think he had. Yeah, no Chris Olave, no Alvin Kamara for New Orleans as well. So Tyler Shuck not, with his full arsenal of weapons there. And I mean, Kirk Cousins has been moving the ball for the Falcons there. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what their motivation factor is, what their buy-in factor is. They're certainly playing a depleted New Orleans team who has played better over the last couple of weeks. The Saints have. Maybe they look at this as, hey, a springboarding the next year. This is our playoff game. We have a chance to have some say in the NFC South. But you're right, that situation could be all wrapped up before this game kicks off. So who knows what their approach is at that point. For that reason is why I stayed away from this one. You said Chris was taking New Orleans?
It's got the Saints, plus 3.5. So I should have thought about this and put it on my card, but Tyler Shuck, it always confuses me with his name because he doesn't say it right. But
he doesn't say his name right.
No. It should be Shuff or Shoff, not Shuck. What are we doing? But bet his overs. I made some money on him the last 2 weeks betting his overs. But yeah, he's been playing really well, and I haven't looked at the props yet. But as of last week, the books still haven't really adjusted enough for him. So maybe look at some of his props, rushing or passing.
It's funny to talk about the rookie quarterbacks. I feel like as Jackson Dart's stock has gone down a bit, we've seen Tyler Shuck's stock rise at the same time. And obviously we've seen Cam Ward kind of come on as late a little bit. This could end up being a really good rookie quarterback class. You give it a few years. So,
yeah.
All right, moving on down the line here, we are going to Cincinnati. The Bengals 6-10 taking on the 4-12 Browns. Cincinnati laying 7.5 here in this Rust Belt showdown. Total at 44.5. 1:00 Sunday on CBS, America's most watched network, the network of stars. Anyone take a stab at this one?
No, I'm surprised Chris didn't put this on his card. He's loved his Browns all year. I thought about betting the Browns here, but I don't know. The year the Bengals have had, I think maybe they might come out and just want to put it on the Browns. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I have no real thoughts yet. I'll have to wait till tomorrow and see who's playing, what the vibes are like.
little divisional showdown here. Obviously, this was a big rivalry game in that state of Ohio. These two teams and organizations do not like each other, so there's always a little bit of a motivating factor there. One thing to look for here: Myles Garrett has 22 sacks, needs a half a sack to break the record for single season sacks. And Joe Burrow, if he's not the most sacked quarterback in the league, I believe he's like top 2 or whatever. But I think he's been sacked like 42 times or something like that. Obviously, Pittsburgh just chipped and chipped and chipped and hadn't chipped all game long last week against Myles Garrett. He's going to be hungry against a Cincinnati line that's proven time and time over the years that they will let you hit Joe Burrow. They will let you hit Joe Burrow a lot. So I got a feeling that Myles Garrett and Joe Burrow are going to get acquainted in this game. Maybe look at a Myles Garrett sack prop on DraftKings or something like that. Could be a good play here against that bad line, depending on where the books have that situated. But yeah, I stayed away from this game.
Probably heavily juiced. So maybe use it as a parlay piece. Yeah. But yeah, the Bengals are smart. Let Garrett get his sack early so he can come out and not destroy Burrow the rest of the game.
Take the wind out of his sails, build it up. Go. He'll do the Brett Favre and just go ahead and lay down. Just get it over with.
First drive, just let him have it.
Let him have it. Speaking of let him have it, we'll see how many interceptions that J.J. McCarthy lets that lets the Packers defense have. He's supposed to be starting for the Minnesota Vikings with that hand injury. They are 8-8, taking on Quay Walker and the Vikings 9-6-1. Scotty, I try to use a quarterback in these graphics, but Clayton Tune is getting the start for the Green Bay Packers. You know how many games Clayton Tune has played for Green Bay?
0. They just
he got in toward the end of last week. There was one game, and that was in the home jersey. So he's never worn the Minnesota Whites. So I went with Quay Walker here because I got a feeling he'll be getting acquainted with J.J. McCarthy during this game. So the Vikings might fare better if they had J.J. Watt playing quarterback during this game. So Minnesota laying 9.5 here, total at a disgusting 36.5 here in the Dome there in Minneapolis. 1 o'clock Sunday on CBS. Anyone dive in the pool on this?
Chris is on this. He's taking the Packers plus the 9.5. I thought about putting this on my card and going with Minnesota. Just because Green Bay has no motivation in this game to rest in their starters. They don't care about this game at all, whereas the Vikings are at home, last game of the season. I feel like they're going to want to come out and win this one. J.J. McCarthy's coming back. He's probably got something to prove going into the offseason. Might be a long day against that defense at Minnesota for old Clayton Tune. I'd probably take Minnesota.
I have a general rule of thumb that if two NFL teams are playing and, it's not, a monsoon or a blizzard or, Hurricane Andrew or something coming through and the total's under 40, to go ahead and take that over on this. I double down on that when it's indoors, perfect weather conditions. You're giving two professional football league teams a total under 40. Not officially on my card, but I will just say F it and toss a few bucks on that. I'm going to bet the over on this, but not officially on this show. But yeah, just for the fact of if you're an NFL team and you can't, two NFL teams, you can't put 40 points together indoors, you should not be in the National Football League.
Yeah. I don't hate the over, but is Green Bay going to be able to score? Is the question.
Yeah. Well, it's very true, but J.J. McCarthy will give you the ball in some advantageous situations if he turns the ball over at its clip. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, moving on over to the Meadowlands, the New York Football Giants, 13-3, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Dax boys 7-8-1. Dallas laying 3.5, total at 49.5. 1 o'clock Sunday on Fox. I have this game on my card, so I'll start off here on this one. So obviously the Giants looking at draft position here. Dallas, they're out of the playoffs. They played the NFC East well this year though, but both these teams playing for pride right now. One of the things here, the Giants are giving up like 5.2 yards per rush only problem is for Dallas, I believe Javonte Williams is out, and I forget the other one. Pretty much, I think they're missing their top two backs. I think Malik Davis is the other back there. I know Jake Ferguson's questionable with like a calf injury. I know Dak is going to play. We'll see how much is he going to play. It's going to be 34 in the Meadowlands there with zero precipitation, so like cold, but like perfect football conditions here. The Giants got nothing to lose. Jackson Dart's mobile. He's got over 300 yards rushing this year. The Cowboys' run defense is like 28th. Obviously, we see the situation this week playing out with them releasing Trayvon Diggs, which makes a bad week even worse for the Diggs brothers. You got a rivalry game. The Giants covered the 3.5 in their last home meeting. The Cowboys are 4-4 on the road. A lot of those games have been in shootouts. Maybe make a play on the over on this. But I think the Giants keep this game close. And if depending on when they pull Dak out of this game, and so he doesn't get hurt and just kind of wave the white flag, I kind of like the Giants to win this game outright. I think the line is inflated a little bit just on Dallas's name, if that makes sense. So yeah, and the Giants are like 4-2 against the spread in meaningless games over the last 2 seasons. So yeah, I just don't see a lot of motivation for Dallas to show any signs of life in this one. Giving the Giants plus the 3.5 here at home.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you, but not on my card. But I'll probably end up placing a bet on every game like I always do. Might be rough this week, but it would probably be the Giants plus 3.5. They're going to want to win this game more. I'm sure Jerry Jones is pushing to get Joe Milton in there as soon as possible.
Yep.
He's got a little bit of a man crush on him. So, yeah, Jackson Dart, he doesn't want to lose this game and have those possibility of them drafting a quarterback because I think they can get the number 1 pick if they lose, depending on what the Raiders do. But, yeah, Giants more motivated. They're going to want to win this one more. Like you said, who knows how long Dak and the starters are going to play for Dallas. Yeah, give me the points at home, 3.5.
You mentioned those rumblings about the Giants, and if they get the 1 pick in a quarterback, could you imagine Francisco Mendoza, NBA guy, business guy, going to New York, suiting up for the Giants a year after they take Jackson Dart? Dart becomes a Jet. That could be the most Jet move of all time. Like trying to trade for him. Mendoza, I just think about and like how he speaks and his business acumen. Could you imagine that guy in endorsements in New York? They'll love him until he starts getting crushed behind that offensive line.
Well, him in Vegas too.
Yeah, but then he'll just go to Chase Manhattan Bank and just become executive vice president of foreign affairs or something like that.
Yeah. But Chris has this. He's going with the over.
Don't hate it. I mean, that's actually probably it's a solid play. I'm probably going to combo that over with the Giants plus the 3.5 there. So, all right. Going on here, we are moving to the beautiful city of Jacksonville. The Jaguars 12-4 taking on the 3-13 Tennessee Titans. They're 1:00 on Fox. Jacksonville, big number, laying the 13.5. Total set at 47.5 in this one. Anyone taking a stab on this one here?
Nope, nobody has this. This is a tough one. Because I think Jacksonville has to win to secure the division. So I could see them maybe getting out ahead and then Tennessee backdooring. I think is probably what's going to happen. Because all Jacksonville has to do is win and get out.
Yeah. They don't have to do anything sexy. Nothing pretty. There's no benefit for covering this game for Jacksonville. Just do enough to get a win and get out of town without anyone getting hurt. We're in those beautiful Prowler throwbacks from like that 95-ish era with their expansion year. Yeah, just make sure Trevor Lawrence and ETN and everyone, Parker Washington, gets out of this game unscathed and move on. Definitely a situation for a backdoor cover here. And that's why I'm making a live adjustment here, Scotty. I had a pick that was in an earlier game. It was in the Browns game, and I decided to pull back on that one. And I'm going to live update my pick, and I'm going to take Tennessee plus that 13.5. The more I look at it, it's just too big of a number, and there's no reason for Jacksonville to go out and just step on Tennessee's throat here. Cam Ward's been throwing the ball a little bit better here. They're going to pass this thing around. Give me Tennessee plus the 13.5 here in Jacksonville. Just Jags have no reason to fight hard in this one. Just do enough to get a W.
Yeah, and I'm sure they feel no threat at all from the Titans. So they're just showing up saying, so, I mean, it could even be like a close game throughout and give them a little scare. But yeah, either way, I think I like the Titans.
All right, moving on here, going to Houston. Texans wearing those, I think they call them their H-Town uniforms, I want to say. They are 11-5, taking on the Colts. No Phillip Rivers. He has been sat down. Riley Leonard getting the start here for the Colts. Houston laying 10, total set at 38.5, 1 o'clock Sunday on CBS. Anyone have a play on this game?
No, this is another tough one because I hate taking Houston as a big favorite, but I think that might be the play here. Riley Leonard isn't very good. So, I mean, I don't know, that total is pretty much spot on. I don't love that over or under. So I guess the Texans minus 10. I don't know. I might look at a prop. Maybe Riley Leonard rushing yards or something.
Yeah, Riley Leonard rushing yards could be a good one. Maybe multiple touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor if he can break one, and if Riley Leonard can get down there and get him into the red zone, maybe he can get another. It's going to be tough against this Houston defense, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this game because I feel like you're right. I feel like the total and the line are set exactly like where they need to be on this one. I know it goes against my logic of if you're two NFL teams and it's a total under 40, and especially if you're indoors, but I feel like this is exactly where it needs to be. Maybe if you bet 38 points, like exactly, maybe that's worth it. To bet 38 points exactly in this game,
or correct score 24-14,
something like that. Yeah. Did you see I forget what game it was, what college football playoff game it was, where some guy put $500 on over 38.5, and then he also went in and put $500 on under 38.5. It ended up being exactly 38. Yeah, I think that was the Alabama. Nice. Well, not the Alabama game. The what game was it that had the ridiculous safety at the end?
No, I don't remember.
The Georgia game. Georgia Ole Miss with the ridiculous safety on the kick return when he threw the ball across field and hit the pylon and went out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Georgia Ole Miss that finished exactly at 38. Which is
what do you mean? You're getting the number wrong, aren't you?
I forget the number. I remember the tweet. I remember the guy complaining about that. I want to say it was a Georgia game. Anyway, he went in and he bet like the only way that it couldn't happen was
because that was a high scoring game, I thought.
I gotta go back and look. But I remember he went in, he lost. It was like it finished exactly on the number. He went under, he went over, and it finished exactly on the number. He lost $1,000. It was like the worst, most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Listen, I've had a lot of alcohol since then, so my brain just is not pure, processing everything correctly here right
Back
now.
When I first started betting, when I was using an overseas account, I made that mistake. I turned like $100 into 1,000, and then I lost all of it in like 2 days. And the last one was the college basketball big game, Kansas and somebody. But I live bet it, and it was like a 2-point window where if it hit, I would have lost both bets, and that happened. So
brutal.
I stopped live betting after that.
Absolutely brutal. Plus, with us using YouTube TV these days, getting those live bets in are even harder because you're like a full minute behind the action. I think at that point.
That's about 30 seconds. I think it depends.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the second half of things here on that 4 o'clock slate. we got the last regular season game at Highmark Stadium. As you got the Buffalo Bills 11-5, wearing the red helmets. Scotty, little Jim Kelly era stuff there, taking on the Jets. Throwing back to just a few years ago, remember that Bart Scott playoff team? Buffalo laying the 7.5, and the total at 37.5. 425 Sunday on CBS. Anyone take a stab at this one?
No. Weird line. I don't know how long the Bills are playing their starters. I think they're locked into that 7 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
But yeah, I don't know how you can take the Jets right now. I do think maybe the Bills are going to want to come out and get out of this game feeling good about themselves after last week, how they lost. But yeah, I'd probably take the Bills, but I don't know. Maybe I'll look at like some Brady Cook like pass attempts or something, because I think they're going to just let him go out there and do whatever he wants. I don't think either team really cares about this game. This might be the rare case where the team that should be resting their starters actually has more motivation to win. But yeah, I think you have to go Buffalo minus 7.5, if anything.
I know Josh Allen trying to keep that consecutive starts streak alive. I think he's like 121 or something like that. He's going to start. We'll see how long he plays. Obviously, dealing with that foot injury, especially for what he does and what he does well. Having a foot injury limiting that mobility is not a good thing. As someone who is much less mobile dealing with a foot injury right now, it is not fun. And you mentioned Buffalo. Yeah, I mean, they're down Jordan Poyer, Terrell Bernard. I think Daquan Jones is out. I think Joey Bosa is questionable. Dalton Kincaid, Jordan Phillips, like they're a little nicked up right now.
Oh.
Go on.
So if they ever post props, I haven't looked this morning on this game, but Dawson Knox I think needs 46 yards to get a bonus. So maybe look at his receiving prop if they post that.
Something good to look at this week as well. Yeah, you mentioned, I'm glad you brought that up. Week 18, there's lots of guys who have some contract incentives within play there. Could be good for some player props this week. So, yeah, because of Buffalo's injury situation, I don't know how long they're going to keep the starters and everything in. I stayed away from this one, but you just can't trust the Jets in any circumstance whatsoever. I mean, they just look awful right now. And I don't know how you bring Aaron Glenn back. I know it's only been 1 year. I just don't know how this team has been this bad, especially over like the last 4 or 5 weeks, and how you can feel any confidence in bringing him back for next year. It's not all him, but somebody's got to fall on the sword, and it ain't going to be the ownership. So,
I was going to say that's your problem there. You might be the current Dan Snyder.
A fish rots from the head, and everything is stinking right now in the Jets facility. So, good luck with that if you got Jets apparel for Christmas. I know a few people that got Jets apparel for Christmas, and it actually makes me happy that they're losing. Keep up the great work, Leon. Hey, thank you there, Mikey B. I appreciate you, buddy. Hopefully your New York Giants cover that 3.5 for me there.
Sounds like sarcasm.
I think it probably was. This is actually, Scotty, new year, new me, buddy. This is a liquid death, lime, okay? Severed lime. No alcohol right now at 9:33 in the East, partially because I forgot to buy beer and tequila yesterday. I will be refueling before NC State and Virginia play basketball at a disgusting 11 a.m. tip this morning.
Yuck. Maybe your bets will hit this week then.
I'm sober, yeah. Well, see, that's what we should do next football season. Sober Leon versus non-sober Leon, and just like see what those bets are. That's actually really good. All right. Moving on to here, Windy City Showdown. We got the Bears 11-5, and the eliminated Detroit Lions at 8-8. Detroit 3-point favorite. Did I get that right, or did I put that in wrong? I think I put that in wrong, didn't I?
What?
Chicago.
It's Chicago -3.
Yeah. I knew I had put that in wrong. Chicago is the 3-point favorite there. Total at 50.5 on this one. 425 on Fox. So as Mike gives me praise, I make a mistake. I'm not going to make a mistake on this pick though, and I think that's why I had Detroit there, because I had Detroit on the brain. Listen, how long is everyone going to stay in the game for Chicago? This game doesn't mean much to them. Detroit obviously embarrassed. All the all the bets, all the hype, everything going on to them this year. This has been one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL. I think they want to string something together and try to build on something going into the offseason. The Bears are sitting on top of the division. They're going to, probably rest a lot of guys. You got the Lions, David Montgomery. He's got over 900 yards rushing. They're going to probably try to ground and pound this thing a little bit, get back to some of that toughness and scratching kneecaps, some of that stuff that we've seen Dan Campbell talk about. Yeah, I think they want to go 9-8. I think Detroit wants to get above 500. I think this is a generous line here at that 3. I think the Lions are going to cover this. I can see like a late field goal or something like that. Maybe even pulling off the win. Give me Detroit plus the points. I know I got the mistake on the graphic, but yeah, Detroit plus the points here.
Mark that down. Yeah, this is on my card. I'm going the same way, so that's probably not good. Yeah, there's probably no such thing as a meaningless game for Dan Campbell. He's going to have these guys ready. And then betting on the Lions after a loss is always a good bet. Yeah, he's going to want to come in here and beat the Bears, and Ben Johnson, last game of the season, like you said, finish over that 500 mark. And the Bears, I don't know how motivated. I think they're playing for – I don't think they're locked into their seed yet. I think them and the Eagles, if the Eagles win and they lose, they could drop to 3. So how much do they care about that? How motivated are they going to be? Yeah, Lions off a loss. You can almost bet them every time that offense is going to be ready. They're going to want to come out and finish the year off right. Gibbs, I think, has a big game. So, yeah, give me the Lions plus the 3, and I think they win the game.
Speaking of which, too, you look at, a lot of people talked about the race for Coach of the Year, and we've seen what these first-year coaches have done. Obviously, Bravo with his first year in New England, but then true first-year guys and like Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, when you go look at it, I mean, like you can directly see his effect on Chicago and what they've done. They're 11-5, and the effect that he's had on turning that team around. And then you can literally see the effect of not having him. With Detroit. I mean, literally, it's probably the best, if you think about it, from an analytical standpoint, coaching hire, because you directly hurt one of your biggest division rivals, and it helped you at the same time. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that if you're in that office for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, but also they are the Commanders of last year, just the way they've been winning a lot of these games at the end. Can that keep happening? I don't know. Yeah.
Are you saying that Caleb Williams is Jaden Daniels if he painted his nails?
No, I think he's fine. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's bad. He's just fine. Like Collinsworth kept saying, which everybody hates on Collinsworth. I actually like him, but he kept saying, as good as Caleb Williams has been, he misses. There was like 3 or 4 throws, 3 gimmies last week that he just missed. And I think that's who he is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do in the playoffs, but great coaching job so far by Ben Johnson, turning that franchise around there. Yeah.
I think.
Moving on, in Denver, a little throwback action for you as the Broncos are breaking out those Elway, those Orange Crush era jerseys there. 13-3 Denver at home taking on the Chargers. Trey Lance pulling the trigger for your Los Angeles Football Chargers. Denver laying 13.5. Total is at 37.5, 425 on CBS. Does anyone have faith in the Chargers? Did anyone take that 13.5?
Not on my card, not on Chris's.
Not on mine.
I'd say probably the under. Yeah. I'd say probably the under on this. With Trey Lance out there and that offensive line, Broncos are going to get up and just want to run the clock out and get out of there. I'll probably end up betting the under.
I haven't really looked at this game. I looked at the line originally, and it was like, I'm staying away from this one. Just like you, I do tend to bet on every single game. Haven't really looked at this total so far yet. I'll explore it more tomorrow, but maybe look at the under on like the Chargers team total. Just looking at this right now on DraftKings, it's at -110 for 12.5. I don't hate that. I don't see where this Charger team gets the 2 touchdowns with Trey Lance pulling the trigger against this Bronco defense. Albeit, though, how long is Denver going to play everyone is always a question. But still, I have no faith whatsoever in Trey Lance. I don't think Trey Lance has faith in Trey Lance at this point in his career. So, yeah, maybe I might bet that under 12.5 for the Chargers. But, yeah, I stayed away from this game. Moving on. Gross, absolutely gross. In Vegas, you got, oh my God, you got Kenny Pickett getting the start for the 2-14 Raiders, taking on the 6-10 Chiefs. Kenny Pickett against Chris Oladukin. Get your tickets ready, boys and girls. I'm sure they'll be lining up at Allegiant Stadium for this one. KC laying the 5.5, total at 36.5. 425 on CBS. Could this be Travis Kelce's last National Football League game?
He certainly acted like it last week with the last home game. So, yeah, probably. Unless Taylor Swift breaks up with him. Maybe he comes back. Yeah, gross game. I think I like the under on this one, too. Obviously not on my card. But what is that line? You can't take the Chiefs. You can't trust the Raiders. Yeah, it's going to be the under. Marquise Brown does have an incentive. I forget exactly what it is. But can Oladukin, is that how you say his name?
I think it's Oladukin.
Can he even get him the ball? I don't know.
So this game is interesting because of the Raiders quarterback situation. Obviously, I know Geno is nicked up. You got Kenny Pickett getting the start. They had a guy who this would have been a spot to give him a shot. It was a rookie quarterback they took in the 6th round out of North Dakota State, and that's Cam Miller. They did not promote him to the active roster. I don't know why they wouldn't do that for Week 18. And so the Miami Dolphins signed him off the practice squad. And so he's in Miami right now. And Tom Brady actually really liked this kid. It was a 6th-round guy out of North Dakota State, 2-time FCS champ. He's gone now. You got Pickett getting the start. I forget who's backing him up. The Raiders don't have another quarterback on the roster. So the injury situation happens in this game. And Jacoby Myers is gone. He's in Jacksonville. I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Raiders. And there's like maybe you just go single wing with Ashton Jeanty. I don't know. I actually would like to see Ashton Jeanty in the single wing over Kenny Pickett any day of the week. But yeah, this game is absolutely disgusting. I mean, I'm seeing a few games this week, Scotty, that go against my ethos of taking the over if it's less than 40, especially indoors. This game actually, I might actually take the under. With it being indoors, just disgusting. But I stayed away from this.
So I guess I thought Aiden O'Connell was hurt, but I guess not. He's listed as active, so I guess maybe he's the backup.
Yeah, that's the other quarterback is Aiden O'Connell. So yeah, he is nicked up. He is pretty much. I think he's going to only come in if it's like Kenny Pickett cannot physically stand up from getting pounded by the Chiefs defense.
They're the same guy pretty much. So
just this is how bad organizations stay bad. You know, like you have a 6th-round guy, you spent nothing on him. He's a 6th-round pick. Tom Brady's in your ownership group. He liked him. He endorsed the kid. Why not sign him to the active roster? You're 2-14. You're playing for the top pick. Hey, guess what? If you want to get the number 1 pick, what better situation than to let a rookie 6th-round guy from North Dakota State who hasn't taken a snap in the NFL start Week 18? Instead, we'll toss Kenny Pickett out there. Like, what does it hurt to sign the guy to the roster and let him play? Like, this is how bad teams stay bad.
Yeah, and then you piss off your only all-pro talent, which maybe Ashton Jeanty one day can get there. But, yeah, you piss off Max Crosby and send him home. That's just not good vibes.
The Raiders are usually dysfunctional, but it's like a fun dysfunctional. It's like, you think about the Raiders in their heyday. It's like a merry band of misfits. It's either you play for the Raiders, you join the Marine Corps, or you become a Hell's Angel. That's like the 3 choices that a lot of those guys had. They don't have any of that now. They're just uninteresting. They're boring. They're not good. It's just a train wreck. I mean, blah, God.
Yeah.
Talk about falling on hard times for a franchise. All right, talking about franchises on the hard times, the Cardinals are used to hard times. I think they're the if not the most losing franchise in terms of overall losses, I want to say, in NFL history. But that also, they've been playing since like the 20s when they were in Chicago. And for most of their career, most of their franchise, they've not been good. But Jacoby Brissett leading the way, 3-13 for the Cards as they travel to LA, taking on Matthew Stafford and the 11-5 Rams. Rams laying 8.5, 46.5. 425 Sunday on Fox. Scotty, I don't know if anyone has this, but one thing I will say, when I went to go see what the Cards were wearing this week, I was on their website and they had an article, and the article was like, Brissett thankful for a chance to play this year. And I was like, if that's one of the main things that's on your website going into the week 18, that tells you everything you need to know about your season there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's not on my card. Maybe the over. This could be another backdoor. Rams just doing enough to get the win. Although I do think the Rams need to get that offense going after the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, I kind of like the over. I think the Rams will come out first half, put some points up, and then Brissett just going to throw the ball probably 50 times, just be chucking it in the second half and get enough points to get that over.
I don't think I've bet all year on a prop on just on a quarterback's attempts. But as I live process this in my brain right now, the exact situation that you mentioned could be a spot where I might go in and look at the market on what Jacoby Brissett's attempts are, because we saw him set the NFL record there a few weeks ago, and they certainly have been letting him chuck that thing around like we're in the CFL. Yeah, so maybe I might take a look at that. But yeah, this game is not a game I'll be paying much attention to. And no one had this on their card, I imagine.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at who's the backup for the Cardinals right now. Keaton Slovis. I don't think they care about him. So I was going to say maybe Brissett gets pulled in the second half, but I don't see them wanting to look at Slovis.
Slovis was the guy that was at USC and then transferred to Pitt, if I remember correctly,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about a change of culture. I can only imagine going from sunny Los Angeles to Pittsburgh. But I digress. All right, moving on over here. New England, 13-3. What a week it's been for the Patriots. Taking on Quinn Ewers and the 7-9 Dolphins. New England laying 11.5. 45.5 is the number there. 425 on Fox. Will the Patriots have any players left for this game? Stephon Diggs and his legal issues, and then Christian Barrymore and his legal issues. Nothing like having these things pop up as you get ready to make the playoff stretch here for New England. That just Drake May and the MVP talk, that was a distraction at the beginning of the week. And now you have some real serious off the field issues there to deal with as you try to get ready for the postseason. Yeah, I stayed away from this game. Did either of you guys dive in?
No, Chris did. I did not. He's going with the Patriots. There is an 11 on Hard Rock still.
Ooh.
Even though they limit me. So we will give him the 11 for the Patriots. And I don't hate that. But I don't know. I'm staying away from this one.
Yeah,
big number. We don't know what the Patriots are going to do as far as their personnel. Maybe the under. Oh, no, I'll probably look at a prop of some sort on this.
I'm staying away from this one. No, I'm not even going to go a prop. I might not even bet on this game. If I do, I might go special teams. But I'm just staying far away from this one.
Look at a Quinn Ewers prop or something.
Moving on here, the Kelly Greens coming out for the Philadelphia Eagles as Tanner McKee getting the start there. 11-5 taking on the Washington Commanders. And I did not update that graphic that says Arizona. I'll fix that. But yes, the Commanders there in Philadelphia taking on the Eagles. Commanders 4-12. Eagles 11-5. Philadelphia laying 4.5 points. 425 on CBS. What say you? Anybody dive in the pool on this one?
I have this on my card. Let me see if the number is still good that I got earlier. I never bet on my Commanders because it's an auto jinx, but I'm going with them today. Last week of this season, why not? 4.5 on DraftKings. I'm taking that number. Eagles resting their starters. Is it Tanner McKee?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a good quarterback named Tanner? I don't think you can trust a quarterback named Tanner. So go ahead and give me the Commanders plus the 4.5. Debo Samuel's got some incentives out there. So, and I think McLaurin's probably going to want to play after missing most of the season. So I do think a lot of our starters that aren't hurt are going to be out there. I think Josh Johnson will, I don't know if we're going to win the game, but Josh Johnson will be good enough to at least hang around and cover that number.
Can you imagine signing? And listen, Philadelphia fans are passionate; they're going to be there regardless. But can you imagine paying hard-earned money to see Tanner McKee taking on Josh Johnson in the National Football League?
Yeah,
That's
not going to be a fun watch. But if they ever post Debo Samuel, maybe go look at his receptions. He needs 93 yards to hit an incentive, and then I forget how many receptions. I think 7 or 8 to hit another one. I don't know if you can get to 93 yards with Josh Johnson back there, but they're going to target him, probably a lot of screen passes and all of that. So, yeah, Debo Samuel props and Commanders plus the 4.5.
Commanders plus the 4.5 there. All right. As I fix the graphic there live on the fly, I actually have this on my card here, and you're not going to like where I'm going with this, Scotty. I am in the boat with you at Washington plus 4.5. Same situation there. Obviously, Marcus Mariota, he's out with the hand. We know Laramie Tunsil's out and all that stuff. Philadelphia, they're going to be heavily resting the starters. We see Jalen Hurts not getting the start there. Should be upper 30s in Philadelphia, like a 30% chance of rain, light winds there. So it could be a little bit of a slick field. Maybe if you're looking at trying to find a reason to go toward that under, perhaps. But I think both of these quarterbacks may turn the ball over, so that could put teams in an advantageous scoring situation. So I would stay away from that. But just for the sheer fact of the matter is, this game means nothing to Philadelphia. They're resting the starters. What's the buy-in for them here? Maybe a game where Von Miller, he's got 8 sacks. Maybe a situation where he can try to pressure the quarterback. If you're looking, what's up?
So that's another one. He needs a 1 sack to. I forget how much the incentive is, 100,000 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then was it Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt? He's on like a 3-game touchdown streak. Maybe you look at a prop for him for Washington. Obviously it's meaningless. I know Philadelphia eyeing that 2 seed. They need some help for that, but 4.5 is too much if you're going to put out a bunch of backups in a low motivation game. Give me Washington, keep this thing close, maybe even get a win here, especially if the conditions get a little gross. And Philadelphia really pull back. You don't want someone getting hurt in a situation like this. Give me Washington and Josh Johnson. The fighting Josh Johnsons to cover 4.5 there in the city of not so brotherly love.
It is a little surprising that the Eagles are resting their starters because, like I said, I think if they win and the Bears lose, pretty sure the Eagles get the 2 seed.
Yeah.
And that could end up being a round 2 matchup, Eagles and the Bears. And I think for the Eagles, I think that home field advantage is pretty important. That could, in that game, the Eagles and Bears, that could be a huge factor who's at home. A little surprised.
But can we just take a minute, though, just to admire the Kelly Green uniforms? If anyone out there involved with the Philadelphia Eagles is listening, you just need to go back to this color scheme and this uniform like full time.
I don't admire anything about the Eagles.
Will we see Mike Trout and Bryce Harper in the stands somewhere? Maybe Rob McElhaney as well.
No, if this game meant anything, maybe.
Maybe. Hey, if those guys want to go down, South Street and get some cheesesteaks and some beers, they can go and get in the stands, mix it up beforehand. Be a good game. If you want to do what Philadelphia people do well, and that's drink and cause trouble, this would be a good game to do that. Just rowdy Eagle fans not paying attention, drinking and fighting. You got to get primed for the postseason, getting those last, sparring sessions in if you're Philadelphia.
Get that holding cell ready.
Yes, the Kangaroo Court there in Lincoln Financial Field. All right, and then rounding out the slate in the NFL, Sunday Night Football, 8:20, NBC and Peacock. You got the AFC North winner-take-all showdown. The 9-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. TJ Watt going to play with that partially collapsed lung. Will this be the last ever game for Aaron Rodgers for the 18th season in a row? It feels like we're discussing that. Lamar Jackson, he's going to give it a go. Says nothing's going to keep him away from starting for his 8-8 Ravens. Baltimore laying 4.5. The total at 41.5. 8:20 on NBC and Peacock. Anyone take a stab at this one?
Yeah, it looks like that line is moved. I don't see any 4.5s out there anymore. It's at 4 or 3.5, maybe on one of the peer-to-peer sites. But yeah, I'm going with the Steelers plus the 4 points. Feels a little trappy, but I think it's on the Action Network. I saw an article where Tomlin versus Harbaugh, the underdog is covered like 78% of the time. And when it's more than a field goal, it's even better than that. I don't like that Metcalf is out because I don't know who they're going to be able to throw to, but we know Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. This is basically a playoff game. Yeah, just give me the underdog. Prime time for the winner-take-all for the division. I think it's going to be a close game. These games are always close. I just think anything over a field goal, you have to automatically bet the underdog in this matchup. So give me the Steelers plus 4.
Yeah, if there's a 4 out there, I'll go ahead and take Pittsburgh plus that, as well as I have updated that now to reflect the 3.5 on the line there.
Well, you already got 5, so this is not on your card, correct?
Well, yeah, I might have a thought on this.
Unless you want to swap, I got you Panthers plus 3, Giants plus 3.5, Titans 13.5, Lions plus 3, Commanders plus 4.5.
Correct.
Swap one of those out?
No, I am not swapping. I may have a thought on this one here in a second.
All right, gotcha.
That's where I was confusing myself because I'm not very smart, Scotty.
Yeah, we know.
But yeah, Lamar Jackson, you mentioned, in a big game, and he's nicked up. I know I admire him playing through the pain, literally, but how effective is he going to be to do what he does best? Especially if his back is not right. Snoop Huntley could be a better option at this point. And if you're John Harbaugh, if Lamar plays and he clearly isn't effective, do you dare make that move, or do you go down swinging still with Lamar Jackson? I think you might see a heavy dose of Derrick Henry in this game. You're right. Without DK, who does Pittsburgh get the ball to? Maybe a situation where those tight ends can make a difference for them. I think special teams will make a big difference. These are two of the better teams in the NFL in special teams, but I like Chris Boswell's toe in this stadium in these conditions and clutch situations. Maybe that's a situation where a last-second field goal makes a difference. Tyler Loop has been good for Baltimore, but I trust Chris Boswell in those situations. If it's a tie game coming down the stretch, I think Pittsburgh is going to cover this. I think Pittsburgh has a chance to win this game, but we might talk about this one a little bit more here in a second. All right, moving on here. Our underdog parlay this week. This one brought to you by Bet365. The Carolina Panthers plus 135. Who's got this one?
That would be me. Already talked about them. I like them plus the 3 points. I just think they're better than Tampa. Keep sleeping on the Panthers. I'm not going to do that again. So, yeah, give me the Panthers.
Then Chris bringing up the San Francisco 49ers there at plus 125, getting the win at home over the Seahawks. And then we just heard me kind of dance around it a little bit, but Seattle plus 180. Pittsburgh plus 180 here on Bet365, getting the win. I really do think this is a classic Mike Tomlin. Look how good of a coach Mike Tomlin is. He's won this. He's got the Steelers back in the postseason. He's won the NFC North to get the doors blown off in the playoffs. No one does consistently better than Mike Tomlin, and gets more credit for it. And I think this is a perfect spot to continue that narrative. I think their defense and I think their special teams make key plays down the stretch, and I think that's the difference. Give me Pittsburgh to win money line. They're going to win this game outright. They're going to go to the playoffs, and they're going to get stomped.
So we got 2 of them today, and then it will come down to you again if we get that far.
Put those together on Bet365. You got plus 1380. If Chris is out there stealing copper wire and he comes across a wallet in the woods and he finds $100, he puts that on the Bet365 app. He hits this. How much does he win?
He would win $1,380.
More money than he's seen on the paycheck in 10 years. So if he actually listened when he wasn't here, the slanderous things that I say about him.
Well, he liked it. He liked our on Facebook. He's not even watching the YouTube.
Well, what are you going to do? All right, well, that'll do it for this week. Make sure to join us back here. I think we are back on schedule as normal now with this Wednesday coming up with the next episode of of the Let's Not Do This podcast. We'll react to NFL playoff seeding, and then of course we'll have our picks for the college football playoff because we get Thursday and Friday college football playoff action coming up next week. I've started some early research on those games, so we will talk about that Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. here on the Let's Not Do This podcast. And of course, Scotty, we've crossed into the new year. Guess what's next month?
What is next month?
The Daytona 500 and the Super Bowl. So we're about a month away from the return of Getting Loose with Leon as we talk a little NASCAR, and then in a few weeks after that, Formula One. So we'll be picking back up on this network a little bit here with some more content here. I may bring you all in for some NASCAR picks for me as we get closer to Daytona to see how wrong can you guys be about a sport that you don't watch.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's all. Never mind. I won't even get into that.
All right. Well, that'll put a bow on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll put a bow on things. Make sure to like, subscribe, be a friend, and tell a friend. We'll see you back here Wednesday night, 7:30 for the Let's Not Do This podcast. For Scotty and for Chris Steele and Copper Wire, I'm the Big O. We'll see you next time.